Here are 5 reasons why INTJs are usually single. Number 1. INTJs have trouble expressing emotions. Navigating the realm of emotional expression poses a unique challenge for INTJs. Recognized for their analytical and logical prowess, these individuals may find themselves in a complex dance when it comes to conveying emotions. It's not a matter of lacking emotions, but rather a distinctive struggle in expressing and communicating them openly. For INTJs, emotions often reside in a nuanced and intricate internal landscape. The challenge arises in translating these internal feelings into external expressions that others can readily interpret. This doesn't mean that INTJs lack depth of emotion. Instead, it reflects a preference for a more subtle, layered form of emotional communication. Verbalizing feelings may feel like navigating uncharted territory for INTJs. The precision and clarity they bring to their thoughts might not seamlessly transfer to their emotional articulation. Consequently, in relationships, this challenge can be evident as partners may need to decipher the emotional cues and nuances that INTJs convey through their actions rather than explicit verbal declarations. The emotional expression challenge for INTJs may manifest in a preference for more tangible displays of affection or support. They might excel in providing practical assistance, offering thoughtful gestures, or engaging in activities that demonstrate care. These actions become the language through which they communicate their emotions, often more comfortably than expressing them through words. Furthermore, INTJs may grapple with the vulnerability that accompanies open emotional expression. The fear of being misunderstood or the concern that their emotions might disrupt the logical facade they often maintain can contribute to a hesitancy in sharing their internal emotional landscape. In relationships, partners of INTJs may discover that unraveling the layers of emotion requires a nuanced understanding. It involves interpreting subtle cues, appreciating the significance of nonverbal expressions, and recognizing that for the INTJ, the depth of emotion lies beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered in the intricacies of their actions and responses. Number 2. INTJs literally overthink everything. Analytical overthinking is a cognitive tendency that characterizes the thought processes of INTJs. These individuals, known for their analytical prowess and strategic thinking, often find themselves caught in a web of intricate analysis and contemplation. Every option is carefully weighed, and potential outcomes are meticulously considered. While this trait contributes to their reputation for making well-informed choices, it also introduces a potential pitfall: overthinking. In problem-solving, analytical overthinking is both a strength and a challenge. INTJs excel at unraveling complex issues, identifying patterns, and formulating effective solutions. However, this intense focus on analysis can sometimes result in a perpetual loop of examining every angle, causing them to revisit the same information repeatedly. The same analytical approach extends to personal reflections and introspection. INTJs possess a deep desire to understand themselves and their motivations. This introspective journey, while valuable for personal growth, can transform into overthinking when every thought and emotion is subjected to rigorous analysis, leading to a continuous quest for self-improvement. Social interactions also bear the imprint of analytical overthinking for INTJs. Before engaging in conversations or societal events, they may mentally anticipate various scenarios, analyze potential responses, and strategize their interactions. This mental preparation, while ensuring they navigate social situations with finesse, can sometimes lead to overthinking the dynamics and intricacies of interpersonal relationships. Number 3. INTJs do not like being vulnerable. The fear of vulnerability is an intricate facet of the INTJ personality, woven into the tapestry of their complex and analytical minds. Rooted in their introverted nature and a preference for rationality, this fear manifests as a hesitancy to expose the more intimate dimensions of themselves to others. For INTJs, vulnerability represents a departure from their usual stance of logic and detachment. Opening up emotionally requires navigating uncharted territory where the waters are murky and unpredictable. This fear often stems from a concern that revealing their vulnerabilities may be perceived as weakness, a chink in the armor they meticulously craft to navigate the world. In social and interpersonal relationships, INTJs may find themselves grappling with the fear of vulnerability. While they are adept at offering practical solutions and strategic insights, delving into their own emotional landscape and exposing their insecurities can be a daunting prospect. This fear is not a lack of emotional depth, but rather a guarded approach to protecting the inner sanctum of their feelings. The fear of vulnerability can be particularly pronounced in romantic relationships. INTJs, despite their capacity for deep connections, may struggle with expressing their emotions openly. The fear revolves around the uncertainty of how their vulnerabilities will be received and whether it might compromise the logical facade they often present to the world. This fear also intersects with the INTJ's natural inclination to maintain a sense of control. Opening up emotionally means relinquishing some control over how their vulnerabilities are perceived and responded to. And this relinquishing of control can be discomforting for individuals who thrive on order and strategic thinking. If you're loving our content, consider becoming a channel member. As a member, you'll have the power to help choose which video topics we cover, receive exclusive badges to showcase your support, and enjoy priority in our responses to your comments. Number 4. INTJs are very selective in personal connections. Selective connections form a distinctive aspect of the INTJ's approach to relationships, both personal and professional. Rooted in their discerning nature and a preference for meaningful interactions, selective connections reflect the INTJ's intentional and strategic approach to forging and maintaining relationships. For INTJs, the process of forming connections is marked by a deliberate evaluation of individuals and their potential impact on their lives. Quality takes precedence over quantity, and the INTJ tends to invest time and energy in relationships that align with their values, goals, and intellectual pursuits. In social settings, INTJs may be perceived as discerning in choosing their companions. Rather than seeking a wide circle of acquaintances, they are more inclined to cultivate deeper connections with a select few. These connections often share common interests, values, or a shared vision for personal and intellectual growth. Selective connections also manifest in the INTJ's preference for depth in relationships. They value meaningful conversations and exchanges of ideas over superficial interactions. While they may engage in small talk when necessary, their inclination is towards building connections that stimulate intellectual curiosity and contribute to personal and professional development. This discernment in forming connections is not a sign of exclusivity or elitism, but rather a manifestation of the INTJ's desire for authenticity and substance in relationships. They are likely to invest time and effort where they see the potential for mutual growth and a shared understanding. Number 5. INTJs often pursue independent goals and activities. Independent pursuits, a hallmark of the INTJ personality, are deeply intertwined with their self-reliant and autonomous nature. This inclination toward pursuing individual goals and activities, while a strength in many aspects of life, can have implications for their romantic relationships and contribute to the perception that INTJs might be more prone to being single. In the realm of independent pursuits, INTJs often prioritize personal growth, career advancement, and intellectual exploration. Their drive for autonomy can lead them to invest substantial time and energy in individual projects, professional pursuits, and the pursuit of knowledge. While admirable, this focus on personal goals may inadvertently create challenges in forming and sustaining romantic relationships. One aspect is the INTJ's strong sense of self-sufficiency. Their independence in decision-making and problem-solving, while efficient, might inadvertently convey a level of self-reliance that can make it challenging for potential partners to feel integrated into the INTJ's life. In relationships, striking a balance between independence and shared experiences is crucial, and the INTJ's emphasis on autonomy may require intentional effort to navigate. Additionally, the pursuit of individual goals may lead to a schedule that is heavily weighted toward personal endeavors. INTJs engrossed in their projects and intellectual pursuits may find themselves allocating a significant amount of time to these independent activities. This focused dedication can make it challenging to create the time and space necessary for cultivating and maintaining a romantic relationship. The INTJ's preference for depth in relationships may contribute to their selective approach to dating. Rather than engaging in casual relationships, they may be more inclined to seek a partner who aligns with their long-term goals and values. This selective approach can be advantageous in finding a compatible partner, but may also contribute to a longer period of singlehood. Moreover, the INTJ's analytical nature can extend to their approach to relationships. They may engage in a thorough assessment of potential partners, seeking individuals who match their criteria for compatibility. And while this discerning approach increases the likelihood of a successful match, it can also lengthen the time spent in the single state as they navigate the complexities of the dating landscape. These videos will be really helpful for you.